that we're planning to be here today. So no problem. Today is more of an update day. So I don't even know, we may go just if conversation takes us to the whole hour, but it's kind of more sharing some things. And then we'll have maybe a little bit more of a active action step kind of a meeting next month for those that can. So, but to start, I am going to let Meg do a little recap of, I know we saw the Sunshine Bag recap, but just some different things that, it's hard to put all of the updates that different ways that she saw God move. So I want to give her a little bit of the floor just to share some encouragement.
Hey friends, like I said in my prayer, just something that Jacqueline wrote to me and Becca was that God put on her heart radical generosity. And I don't know, Jacqueline, if you want to share just a little bit about what the Spirit kind of said to you.
Sure. Yeah, it was just, I guess the sunshine bags were coming up. We were planning on working on that, and then I guess I was thinking I've been really stressed, first of all, with a lot of family stuff going on. We had a little baby born in our family, was born premature. So it's very, very stressful for everyone. And he had to have multiple heart surgeries. So I was a bit, disconnected. I feel like I've been very disconnected from my normal life over the last few weeks. But the sunshine bags, and very chaotic with, that's the best word, with just, I've been running to the hospital and just trying to support them. It's been really hard. They're a young couple, and just cooking food and running to the hospital has been like my norm. But I thought about the sunshine bags, and then it was just, I woke up very sleep deprived and thought, I need to help with these bags. And there was a list, I guess, just of like 19 items. And I was thinking, okay, let me send a couple items. And it was just really interesting. I always ask God, which ones? And I just heard in that moment, send all of them. And then I just get words sometimes from the Holy Spirit, or pictures, actually. Sometimes words or pictures. And right after that, I just got the words radical generosity. And I thought it was very unusual, wasn't something I was expecting. And it just, I'm not saying that God was saying that about me. I just, in that moment, got those words. So I was really pondering that. And I felt that, the Holy Spirit was just saying, that's his nature, first of all. His generosity just knows no limit. And he is so generous with us all the time. Mm-hmm. And so he's generous with his mercy. He's generous with his provision, kindness, forgiveness, just radically generous in a way that we can't really understand. So I've been just pondering that, I guess, those words over the last few weeks, and just thinking about all the times where I felt, I'm doing something, but really God, I think, wants us to reflect his character and his nature. And so we often think of, the Father is, merciful or forgiving, but that day and for the last few weeks, I've just been thinking of him as being radically generous. So how can we reflect that?
Love that.
And I think that's just the perfect phrase, Jacqueline, to describe the Sunshine Bag Project. Just radically generous, just the outpouring of love from our Mary Wheeler Circle. And I was counting up kind of volunteer hours. We had at least 45 volunteer hours just for this project. And we had people who were engaged that have not been engaged for a while. We had people coming to the center who haven't been at the center in a while. We had people who were writing encouragement cards and sending in gifts. And that was really cool just to see the group really grab hold of this. And I love that this project came from members of the circle who said, what can we do to support the staff? So I especially want to give a shout out to Monica and Rebecca, who were there for encouragement cards and packing party and decorating. Also want to give a shout out to this lovely lady, Miss Susan, who was here typing on her typewriter, making beautiful encouragement cards that we put on the outside of the bag. And also she came and she blew up all these balloons. And if you got to hear my little video, it was so sweet because not only did we bless the staff, but we blessed a family in winter contingency as well. And so I think just that picture of like a fountain that's like overflowing. But I do want to open up the floor, especially to Monica, Rebecca, Susan, and others who were involved, about like what stood out to you about the project. Was there anything that you found particularly encouraging?
I don't know. I mean, I thought it was wonderful. I think it was, to piggyback on Meg's, it was a way that people could participate on different levels, which is one of my favorite parts of the Mary Wheeler Circle, because there's just all kinds of facets, all kinds of out of the box things that you can do depending on where you are in life. And I just think that's wonderful. I think probably my favorite part, one, it was just so happy. I mean, obviously it was yellow, but I mean, it was so happy. It was just so happy in that room. And I have been in that room multiple times when I worked here, right, as for staff meetings. And so to me, just being in there was very nostalgic and wonderful, just knowing how much goes into that room, all the hard discussions and the things that they learn and the emotions, and that it could be a happy place. But then just watching the staff be excited and be grateful and just over and over again, just be so overwhelmed by the love that was given. And I think it's really cool how much people, I mean, I've got to see that this week with the birthday team. I'm just talking to Hannah because we're doing something crazier even this week that I'm going to rearrange and maybe, but like just the ask, and it's been there, and it's just been overwhelming and wonderful. And I mean, I personally would describe most of the people I've met in the Mary Wheeler Circle as being radically generous. I'm continuously overwhelmed by that. So, and I know that the staff, even when I was here last week, because I come every Wednesday, and even this morning, I had people talk to me still about it. And so I think that that's it's made a ripple effect. So
I think I need to issue a disclaimer. It was not my hot air that blew up those balloons, because Meg provided me with a mechanical device that actually blew up the balloons. All I did was put the balloons on and hit the lever.
That's so and funny. It's funny. That's a good clarification, because I was honestly picturing you, Susan. I'm like, how is this woman getting all these balloons?
That's a lot of air.
That's funny.
Yes. Well, it's been really neat, you guys. Like I needed to share, and I should have pulled up the actual language that she sent, but we even had a Mary Wheeler that she's in Florida half the year, and she responded just with some really encouraging words of how the Mary Wheeler Circle allows her to still feel connected to the work God's doing. And it was just such an encouragement. And I just hope that, I know, as Jacqueline just alluded to, life ebbs and flows, and weeks go and things happen in life. And, you can feel super connected one day, and then the next week you're off thinking, handling other things. But I just hope you feel encouraged, as a leadership team in this adventure. Every little thing matters. And I wish I could explain, and I wish I could write down all of the ways that one little connection made an impact on this life, or how this random thing, impacted this staff person differently. It's just not possible to really, we try to, share the impact. But it's just as God is, right? He's over the top with his love. And so it's just impossible to share it. But the work that can feel sometimes, does it matter? It does. I want you to know that. I hope that you feel that on a regular basis, but sometimes it's just good to be reminded of it. So it was super fun to watch from afar. I was so these are the moments where it's like, okay, Lord, I need to thrive where I'm planted, but I this is a struggle. So thank you you encouraged me, even though it was a little bit of like, oh, I wish I could be in the yellow room, but it was fun to watch.
Did you get a bag? Did they have a bag for you?
Oh no.
Yeah, Becca
This
and I
is-
didn't get a bag.
No, this is yes, you are our bags.
Yes.
Well, you're staff too, so.
Great phrase.
I like
Yours
you are
are
our
our
bags. I like that.
You are our bags.
Sunshine.
You are all the sunshine we need.
One thing I did want to just share really quick is that, and I know Monica would never share because she's so humble, but you know, Monica used her circle of support to collect money to be able to get a Tony Evans study for each of the bags. And I especially love that it had a yellow cover, which is awesome. And they were like really big.
Mhm.
And then also, Monica reached out to her geographical region, and one of our members who isn't typically able, especially to come in person to volunteer, was here for our encouragement card
wow.
writing. And she actually, Monica and Cindy Wright, were able to take her on a tour. And she actually, her job works in development. So she personally was going to write 100 cards for her own job. So for her to take time to come and that weekend, for her to take time to come and write with us was really, really cool. And so I just thought it was neat to see the connections and to embarrass Monica again. Something I saw was that we had another advisory member who came in person, and Monica and her were like making the bags beautiful, like putting tissue paper and things, and they were working together and just really connected. And now Monica's going to sponsor her for the great banquet, and it's just like I love how the Lord works, and yeah, it's just beautiful. And Linda Hutton, if you guys know her, she's like, I call her our Mary Wheeler Circle evangelist, because she like brings everyone she knows and tells them about it. She told me last time she had talked to her doctor about it.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, she brought her
If you
friend
wear
for the
shirt,
second
people
time.
ask.
Oh yeah, yeah.
People always ask about when I'm wearing this shirt. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So as we're continuing our discussion today, keep those things in your mind, because
Yes.
there's going to be more opportunities to invite people. And really quick, do you want to say the pickleball was so much fun,
Woo!
and that it was just delightful. So Becca, you were here in person for that, and so yay!
Yes, I was. And I will
And
say it was
Rebecca Callahan can play. Anyone can play.
no, I think that was the fun. Yes, that was the fun part. I think for me with that was just the recap, just really for encouragement, right? Like that was really just to go have fun.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening, like there were ladies that again we haven't been able to see for a while that love pickleball, and so they were there. But it actually saying, "Hey, if I would love to do this again, I love meeting other ladies in the group." You know, it was so encouraging. We got to meet some wonderful ladies from Grace that were able to share a little bit of their stories with us that I plan to follow up with. Just in general, I even bought a little pickleball thank you card to send.
Oh,
That's cute.
That's awesome.
But just the sweetest ladies, you know, that aren't Mary Wheelers, that are obviously on our team, right? Like on the Kingdom team. And so it was just a really fun thing. So if there are other things, you know, with as we look at social gatherings and things, it doesn't have to be a full, blown thing. But if you find something that you think ladies would want to join you in, Meg and I would love to like champion it with you. You know, say, hey, Monica's doing this thing up in Zionsville or whatever it is. Let us know. We would be happy to help push like those engagement opportunities in any way. But it was really a sweet thing, and you got to see some fun sides of people coming out too. It was a good event. So it's been a fun month. And then really quick, just reminders of meal service. I saw Robin signed up, so there's only 3 more months I think that are empty right now. That are, I believe it's July, August, and December, I think, are the months that have nobody. And then of course you're still welcome to sign up with a pair, or, you know, if there's only one person, but that's great. I think we're in good shape for the next few months. So just kind of keeping it at the forefront is the only reason I'm bringing it up. And then we have had a couple new members
Well, and Aubrey.
Oh, and Aubrey, sorry.
is that for next month?
Yeah,
Yeah.
April. Buffy is going to be, I'm like very excited.
Yes.
She's a member, so.
Yes, so we have some new members, which has been so fun. I think we've had
I'm excited.
one last month. We have one so far, I think, and a couple percolating this month. So that's another just reminder. If you have women in your life that you're thinking about, I would say mention it sooner. You know, we still have some sponsorships, but they're definitely people are considering and thinking on it. So be sure to reach out and make sure they know it's no obligation really to them other than just getting the information and participating, you know, as they can this year. So it's just kind of a friendly reminder. We'd love to be able to utilize all those sponsorships that ladies have been generous to give. So sorry that Millie is going crazy if you can hear her behind me. So moving forward, this is kind of the fun part really of today's meeting. So a lot of updates, but also, as Meg said, keep some of those things in your mind of what we talked about, so your circle of ladies that you have as we go. So the first thing that we'll talk more about, and then I'll do some highlights of our night of celebration updates at the end, but Rebecca, so I was on a work run the other day. There's only a few people I will call and talk with while I run. And Rebecca and Cindy are two of those people. They don't mind my huffing and puffing. And I was trying to figure out our spring gathering for this year. Our facility, you know, that we typically go to, Cohatch, they were not available for that particular day. We could have moved the day, would have been fine. But as I've mentioned, kind of our hope for this year is to shake things up. And so we thought, I was just trying to think of a different thing. And so we originally were thinking and I think we talked about this in our group, but maybe a big after hours event, if you will, at our thrift store. We were trying to think of some new options. Well, Rebecca had a wonderful idea of what we are now kind of morphing into what we're calling Mary Wheeler Circle Serve Week. It will culminate in some kind of gathering, if you will, on that Thursday. Or sorry, was it Wednesday? I forget what day we had. Thursday. That we were planning. So there will still be something that happens, but it'll be far more laid back and yeah, just low key, maybe even come and go. We're still figuring that out. But on the front end of the week, we are going to have 3 days worth of many options of ways to volunteer. So there will, at the very core, so very high level, we will have a sign up, kind of that Microsoft form, very easy sign up document where Cindy has been so generous, and we're not going to ask ladies to use the volunteer system for this particular week. We're going to have them just sign up, their name, their email. We will add them in on the back end to track hours. But so for example, on maybe that Monday, I believe it's like April 29th, there will be options all day. There will be different shifts that you can participate in at the thrift store. There will be meal service. There will be an option to serve at the supportive house on West Morris Street. That you can just click kind of what works for you. And then you click. So it's going to be a little clunky because it's our first time, but we're excited about it. And we are figuring out, there will be some remote opportunities as well. We're going to hash through, like, we're thinking a potential like 12-hour prayer where you can sign up for a chunk of prayer throughout the week, as well as, writing notes. Going to talk with some of the program managers about what would be some specific things that maybe they've been wanting. So maybe a book or something that they have been wanting for their program that ladies could send, just some different things, options, right? That's kind of the key. Wanting ladies to have options, different times throughout the day to participate. There will be a shirt involved, a Mary Wheeler Circle Serve shirt. So whether it's at home or you go to a site, we will do our best to have your size and that kind of thing there as well. And then the idea will be on that Thursday to have sort of like the good old fashioned team building facilitation debrief sessions where you just get to come and share your experience. That's kind of going to be the idea. So nothing like, maybe we'll probably have some food, but nothing like fancy. It'll just be come in your street clothes and we want to hear how, like, what did you see? We'll probably have some planned discussion time and questions as well as opening the floor just for conversation. So that is the premise. So I would love to hear your thoughts, your ideas, any red flags, hesitations that you might have, especially those of you that are way more in person volunteer. This is kind of the floor for discussion.
And one thing we mentioned is maybe trying to have if possible, an advisory member at some of the some of them, like the thrift store. I think Becca mentioned there's like a Mary Wheeler member that does frequently, so she could be that person because she does that often. But for women who don't come often or something like that. One thing I was wondering, this might be too much, but is it a possibility to have something on the Saturday before for people who
that's a good idea.
For people who want to do something, but
they work all week.
They work or even.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I'll ask Cindy because I think it may be a little more intensive kind of thing, but like I'm thinking like a meal service share or like or one of the rec nights. Asking if that rec night might be open, that we could have ladies sign on like 8 spots. We do something for a rec night that Saturday night before. Yeah, I'll talk to her about that. I think that's a really, really great idea of something for ladies that can't.
Yeah.
And maybe even having some evening options too.
Yeah,
I know meal service, but even meal service for dinner can be hard because you have to be there at 4, which is hard for people. So yeah.
Yep. That'll be the tricky one, right? But there are like the family we've talked about, and we hope to continue on with getting ladies involved in the family units. So that'll be a little bit obviously dependent on what they already have going on, but I will ask her about both of those, a weekend and then maybe making sure we have, and I actually haven't looked, they updated some things. I haven't looked at their spreadsheet yet of what they have listed already. But
Cindy said this morning that it was pretty full because we were talking about it, as in the ideas, I should say, the time slots.
Cool.
Yeah. So
what is the week again, Becca?
It'll start, it'll be the week of April 29th, but potentially that weekend, those maybe 27th, if we can find something on that week before. And I do want to make sure you all know, we'd love to have you obviously in person for at least one of the options, but also know Cindy is a Mary Wheeler member as well. The supportive house option will be really the one unique one that we will be more in charge of, if you will. We're trying to keep it somewhat simple in that the volunteer department is kind of leading the charge because these are things that they do normally. That way it's not a lot of extra work for any of us. The supportive house, Bethany LaRocco, who is our director of families and extended services or something, she will be on site, I believe, that day as well. That will be a daytime option from 10 to 1. So we will have some people already in place. So just know that we may have a few outliers where we're kind of hoping we can plant some people. I just don't want you to hear, oh my goodness, we have to be on site for 4 days of the week. No, but if there is a point when you're like, this is when I'm going to serve, we might try to strategically place others in other options, if that makes sense.
One thing Becca and I were wondering about for the Thursday event, typically we have like our spring gathering in the evening, but we also have a core of people who'd like to come during the day. So we were wondering, do you think we should have one in-person gathering and one virtual gathering for like the debrief?
Are you saying the
Like
in person would be during the day or?
that's where, or at night.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're thinking potentially at the Haverstick coffee shop up on 96th Street or something like that. That's a little bit like not necessarily where we're getting a room, but just where we might have a big space and some big tables where it's more just conversation. You maybe grab a coffee, drink yourself and come sit and let's chat. I don't know how many ladies will get. That's why we're kind of wanting to just kind of keep it low key. The other thought I think we talked about was just doing it all virtual, where the whole debrief is just virtual. Jump in where you're at. You know, there's a reason we had to volunteer at all different times. We just get on a big Zoom call and get to have conversation that way. So if we did that, we could also utilize like breakout rooms as well on the Zoom call where we say, hey, we're going to break you up into groups of 3 just to have some conversation about your experience. You know, anyway, that's just an idea. We're not I'll be in town most of that week too. So I'm not like by any means opposed to an in-person event, just trying to think about what, you know, we're asking them to be in. There's remote things, but a lot of in-person opportunities throughout the week. So wanting to be mindful of that too. So any thoughts would be great.
Were you going to say something?
Becca?
Yeah.
As far as the shirts
Yes.
are concerned, is that, I mean, obviously just for people who are volunteering that week, my mind kind of automatically jumped to that being a way to kind of unify my call group. If I could take a shirt to them.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the shirts are going to be for
Before-
ladies that volunteer. Yep.
So they cannot be for all Mary Wheeler. Like, could
So-
we use it as a way to draw in?
For that week, we may like that's so the idea is we launch the shirts, right? Like for that serve week, but we will very likely have extras. And so, yes, I am at my thought process is as the weeks go and ladies serve, if they don't already have one, if we know they're going to be serving at a Mary Wheeler meal service, we'll give them a shirt, that kind of a thing. So I don't think, I'm not saying they'll never get a serve shirt. We'll just launch. That's kind of going to be hopefully one of the little incentives to sign up for serve week.
So let's say, Robin, you decide to ask like your geographical group, like, hey, do you want to do one of the prayer slots with me? Come to my place and, you know, we'll pray together, maybe have some snacks, and I'll get the shirts for all of us, you know, so you'll get your shirt as well. And we can arrange that where I can get the shirts to you. Or you could say like, hey, come join me for one of my cooking classes, or let's do like a lunch meal service, or trying to think of other things. But yeah, I love that idea. I think it's a great opportunity to bring people from your geographical regions, but I think it's also a good opportunity to bring kids and friends.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Becca, some of them, like the rec nights, might be appropriate to even bring like a spouse to. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll have to flesh that out. But
No, I think
it's
so. I think
see.
any of that's where I'm going to lean on Cindy, but any opportunity that's already been an opportunity, I'm going to let her basically lead the charge, right? Like, because we've had that, she knows how to upload that in her system. So I think as long as we're abiding by her, you know, the volunteer department guidelines, I don't see why not, because that's happened in the past. So
And just want to say, sorry, part of the debrief, like why we think that's so important is that like Rebecca has had a lot of, and I'm sure you guys have too, like Robin, I think about you and your, like the people that you do the the cooking class with, like meeting with case managers and learning more information. But there seems to be a need to process what they're experiencing and I think that's a really cool thing that we can do is like, hey, we're doing this together. And yeah, it brings up questions. It brings up things that are uncomfortable, things that are encouraging, things that we don't know what to deal with. And so kind of using this as an opportunity to kind of get those things started and see how they go.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty important part if you're going to be very interactive with the guests. If it's a serve opportunity where you're not doing that as much, I suppose that's different. But yeah, that was really valuable.
Yeah. Do you guys overall, do we feel good about this kind of concept, like trying something just different this year? And part of the reason too is we, you know, we want to shake it up this year. And there's a kind of an undercurrent theme for me of really wanting the ladies in the circle to grow. And I think that not just, I mean, growth in all of the ways, growth in understanding why we do what we do, growth in knowing Jesus better, and also growth in knowing Wheeler better. You know, I think there's parts of like the thrift store, there's things that ladies don't know, like the thrift store impacts the CWC. And it's a little bit indirectly to a degree, but it's very impactful to the all kind of the big wheel of what the mission's doing. So just kind of thinking this could be a cool opportunity that kind of can cover a couple of those topics all at kind of the same time.
I think, Becca, to your point, that's great. And as we volunteer together, it eases up. I'm not going into something by myself, but there's a whole, and we can all be new together too. And then learning how the center works. I think that's so impactful. How do the pieces come together and make it all function? And just getting clarity on that.
Absolutely. Okay, great. Well, we will, Meg and I are going to be working on kind of fleshing out the opportunities. This will launch hopefully next Thursday in our next newsletter. It's going to be kind of the highlight for the newsletter. So stay tuned for that. And I would ask, if you're able and willing, hop on pretty quick and sign up for whatever you feel led to sign up for. Again, we are not like going to have we don't have like, you know, whistles and a police hat on. Like, we want you to also participate in the way that you feel led to. We just would ask that you would be kind of leaders in that when you're getting and hopping on the list, so that we can start to promote that we have ladies signing up for different things. I think that will be helpful in getting the rest of the crew. And then the shirts, I'm hoping to have those ordered. I have to find a place that can do bulk orders. So they're not going to be anything fancy. We're just thinking, you know, our logo and serve week. We're not even going to put 2024 because we want to be able to use them year to year if this goes well. So it'll be fun though. It's going to be an experience. So go with us. It's going to be you know, one thing we're really good at in the circle is trying new things and seeing if they work. So that is what we're doing this time around. So we appreciate your help and any feedback, you know, that Meg and I are all about. We want your ideas. We want your constructive criticism, you know, on how things could work better or differently. So we'll go from there. So be expecting maybe some emails coming through on needing some help with this, but we wanted to share about it now so that, you know, in the coming weeks, we may need come up with some ways that we might need some help as we look to launch this in about 6 weeks. So thank you. Val, I am with you. I don't know that we can afford another long sleeve shirt for this round, but we may be looking at another piece of apparel soon.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I had mine on yesterday.
As much as I'm here, I've been cleaning and stuff, and that long sleeve shirt is not the best to come and do cleaning and organizing and moving. I can't wear it on Wednesdays because I just get so hot and sweaty. So I'm grateful for this.
Yes, we'll have another work shirt. Work like a work. Yes, I'm with you. And then the
And
last thing I just
that you're wearing it right now. Way to go. So Val.
Yep. I know. I literally had mine on yesterday too. It's so comfy. So the last thing, I just wanted a few updates so you guys know where we're at, and we'll continue on with more action meetings as we get closer. But we do have we've confirmed our venue for the night of celebration is going to be Tinker House Events. It's a really, really cool location, and we can send some pictures, or you can look at it online. But it's only like 7 minutes from the Center for Women and Children. So it works really well for the staff to continue to still be able to come. We'll have make sure that there's transportation for them if they need it, but it's close enough that we think that they'll be able to feel like they can still be a really big part of the evening. But it's also nice because setup, I mean, all the things we've been doing, they do for you. So we are only going to really have to focus on like what's on the table, the program, that we can focus our attention on some more, being a little more intentional and more the program side of things this year than needing to be focused more on, the space. So I'm looking forward to what the door that opens for us as a advisory council. And then we did have a meeting, or I had a meeting with Colleen, and she is really all about this immersive idea. She thinks it could be really cool. So this is very tentative. We have not made any major decisions, but one of the ideas, and I maybe shared it with you, is doing a 1 to 2 immersive kind of learning things. One of them being the cha-cha, where they talk about essentially change theory and how change for any individual is often not a straight line. And it's often like a cha-cha, where it can be 1 step to the side, 1 step forward, 1 step back. And they do kind of a fun, after the lesson, they kind of do a fun, you all get up and learn the cha-cha. So with that, we're thinking about going with that and doing like a Mexican theme we're going to use Nameless Catering again. They are one of the vendors that Tinker House uses. They have a wonderful Mexican menu that would kind of go with our feel of wanting it to be a little more, I say laid back, you know what I mean? Not really like gala feel, but like it's still going to be an event. The cha-cha and it can make it still feel celebratory, but it kind of helps us bridge that gap a little bit of what we're wanting to do towards the beginning of the night, moving it into the celebratory ending of grant awards and things like that. So that's kind of our feel. We're going to have lots of ways for you guys to help us weigh in on all of that as we get closer. But we're going to, Meg and we said we weren't going to do this, but part of the reason we're thinking this is because our fiscal year is ending soon, and we want to put some of our budget into this year so that we aren't having to cover it all next year, if that makes sense. So we're having to make a few decisions before the end of May, if just FYI. So we may have some emails coming out with wanting your feedback. And we're asking so early this year because some of that we want to have somewhat decided before June 1st. So that is where we're at. So just some fun things, lots more to come, lots more that we'll need help with, and we'll have steps, things for us to sign on for what you all want to help us accomplish. But we can officially say we're going to be at Tinker House. It's a really cool venue. Parking won't be as an issue. So lots of positives. Robin, were you?
No.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Any final questions or anything from you all before we end the meeting today? Okay. Last little tidbit I'm going to mention. I'm probably going to link it if she'll let me. Rebecca was able to speak at her church. They asked her to give she gave the sermon a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to share that with you all if you're okay with it, Rebecca.
Yeah,
And
sure.
it's so wonderful. And it's so in line. It's essentially how to love like Jesus. And she, first of all, just exudes that so well, but I think it's just really relevant to the work that we do in the circle. So I just thought you all would enjoy it. Like I haven't finished it yet, but I'm working my way through as I can. And it's just wonderful. So I'm gonna potentially even link it in our newsletter for the rest of the ladies too. I just think we love championing you guys. You know, it's yes, it's Wheeler, right? But it's more about why are we doing what we're doing, and it's so fun to watch you guys live your lives and do these amazing things. It's just fun to be a part of it. So thanks for letting us be part of it. Great. Well,
Just want to say thank you, everyone. We just so appreciate you, and you're such an encouragement to us. And we literally could not do 90% of these things without you. So thank you so much for your ownership and leadership, and just the ways you're coming alongside your ladies and building bonds with each other. It's just beautiful to see.
It is. Let me pray real quick and we will sign off. Father, thank you again for the opportunity to be together, for technology in this way. Lord, it's a gift. And we're thankful for willing hearts. We thank you for the ladies on the call. For those that couldn't be with us today, we don't know what they have going on, but Lord, you do. And so we ask that you would be with them. Lord, we pray for all of the different things we have coming up, Lord, whether it's grandkids, spring break plans, kids being off school, new clients, Lord, whatever it is, we just ask that your hand would be in it, that we would keep you at the forefront, reminding us why we do what we do and the posture in which you ask us to do that in, that we would have servant hearts, Lord, and that we would be bold in our faith. And we love you so much, and it's in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks, ladies. Fun to see all your faces.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Oh,
Bye,
Val,
everyone.
don't worry about it. I've been off camera so many times in meetings in the last 4 years. You don't need to apologize. Sometimes you're just not camera ready. It is okay. Oh, thankful for you guys. Okay, I'm going to end the call, but Meg, you guys call me if you need me, okay?
Okay,
So funny,
sounds good. Bye.
Bye.